Here live with my Period 2 class. We're going to do this reading about microscopes. Say hello, class.
Hi.
All right, let's start out. Microscopes. Describe how microscopes are used in life sciences. Identify how cells were first identified. How can we see the details of bacteria? With the naked eye, bacteria just look like slimy smears on a petri dish. How can we study them for more detail? The invention of the microscope has allowed us to see bacteria, cells, and other things too small to be seen with the naked eye.
Thank you.
Microscopes. Microscopes, tools that you may get to use in your class, are some of the most important tools in biology. A microscope is a tool used to make things that are too small to be seen by the human eye look bigger. Microscopy is the study of small objects using microscopes. Look at your fingertips. Before microscopes were invented in 1595, the smallest thing you could see on yourself were the tiny lines in your skin. But what else has been hidden in your skin? Invention of the microscope. Over 400 years ago, two Dutch spectacle makers, Zachariah Jensen and his son Hans, were experimenting with several lenses in a tube. They discovered nearby objects appeared greatly enlarged or magnified. This was the forerunner of the compound microscope and of the telescope. In 1665, Robert Hooke, your friend and mine, an English natural scientist, used microscopes to zoom in on a piece of cork, the stuff that makes up stoppers in wine bottles, which is made from tree bark. Inside of cork, he discovered tiny structures, which he called cells. It turns out that cells are the smallest structural unit of living organisms. This finding eventually led to the development of the theory that all living things are made of cells. Without microscopes, this discovery would not have been possible, and the cell theory would not have been developed. Hooke's discovery of the cell set the stage for other scientists to discover other types of organisms. After Hooke, the father of microscopy, Dutch scientist Anton van Leeuwenhoek taught himself to make one of the first microscopes. In one of his early experiments, van Leeuwenhoek took a sample of scum from his own teeth to use the microscope to discover bacteria, the smallest living organisms on the planet. Using microscopes, van Leeuwenhoek also discovered one-cell protists and sperm cells. Today, microscopes are used by all types of scientists, including cell biologists, microbiologists, virologists, forensic scientists, entomologists, taxonomists, and many other types. Oh, here's a picture of Anton van Leeuwenhoek.
What was he looking at when he named himself?
He was looking at stuff from his teeth, dental scrapings. Some of the modern microscopes use light as Hooke and van Leeuwenhoek did. Others may use electron beams or sound waves. Researchers now use 4 types of microscopes: the light microscope, the transmission electron microscope, the scanning electron microscope, and the scanning acoustic microscope.
Hey, what? Who is Zacharias Jensen?
He's one of the early developers of the microscope. Thanks for that question. All right. So there's our summary. A microscope is a tool made to see things by the naked eye look too big. And types of microscopes include light microscopes, transmission microscopes, scanning electron microscopes, and acoustic microscopes. There's your reading. Answer the 10 questions that are on the Google Doc. Thank you. This has been Mr. Ruby reading to you from Microscope CK12. Open source code, and say goodbye, class.